Hello everyone, and welcome back to Sonic 3 and Knuckles on the SEGA Mega Drive. I am One Wild Sheep yet again, and today's, ladies and gentlemen, we're doing the flying battery zone as Knuckles. And for the most part, this zone remains completely unchanged from the Sonic version of the stage, which is it's honestly kind of a bit saddening, but Flying Battery Zone is still one of my favourite zones in the game, so I'm not complaining too much. It basically just means this commentary part's going to be a bit more rambly and a bit less on point with the game, which is kind of unfortunate because this part also has Sandopoulos Zone. Basically with the Knuckles run of the game, I really want to compress the LP down into we get more zones done per episode, you know, so I really want to get this game done. So what I've basically done is I pushed Sandopoulos Zone into this part, which basically doubles the length of this video, unfortunately, because this video is normally 8 minutes long for just good old-fashioned flying battery, but unfortunately Sandopoulos pushes it up to the 25-minute mark, so enough first. I just really need to think of things to say, that's all, basically, because everything's the same as is in the Sonic run, folks. You have your usual platforms you need to glide on, well, not even glide on, jump on. You have all the same obstacles, there's nothing new. Although there are alternate routes you can take as Knuckles, and one thing that I do like is that you can usually find a lot of hidden secrets if you decide to go out of your way to glide up and fly and climb up to certain areas. So, yeah, if you have the explorative mindset, Flying Battery Zone as Knuckles can be one of your favorite stages in the entire game. However, unfortunately, I just want to get the game done. I want to get through the game without any hassle. I'm still going to pick up all the secret rings in the zone, you know, folks. I've already shown off where they are, and I've already shown off the special stages, so I don't even need to show them off anymore, but just to say, this part, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to spoil it right now, we are going to get a hold of the new Knuckles transformation. However, what you will find is I won't be abusing the Knuckles transformation as much, at least nearly as much as the Sonic one, and even with the Sonic one, I abused it on accident, I didn't want to use it. So yeah, you won't see so much Hyper Knuckles in this playthrough. Primarily because this is the only part of the playthrough you're going to see Hyper Knuckles in, if I remember correctly, because the next part is all the final two zones, and I don't transform in either of those two zones, you know? Which you might be confused. How are the final two zones? Aren't you meant to have the Death Egg? Aren't there meant to be a huge plethora of zones after the Sandopoulos? Well, if you're playing as Sonic, yes. However, Knuckles' run acts a little bit differently in that after you beat Sandopoulos Zone, you get access to the hardest zone in the entire game, and it'll be interesting when we get to it. And then we're basically flung straight to the final boss, you know? Well, actually, after Lava Reef Zone, then we're flung into the hardest zone of the game, then we're off to the final boss. So, we don't go to Death Eggs, Knuckles, ladies and gentlemen. I'm dead serious, Knuckles has no Death Egg Zone. And it's primarily because Knuckles doesn't have the same jump height, so trying to clear Death Egg Zone as Knuckles, it's really an adventure, really, you know? You can get into Death Egg as Knuckles, and I'm probably going to show that off in an extra part at some point down the future. It depends on how I feel. You know, if I can be bothered to make an extra part, because there's loads of other things I want to cover for the channel, and all depends on how much time I got, but yeah, basically it's the same old stuff. What can I say? Hurry up and blow up the thingy, please. Thank you! Knuckles away! Oh no. I don't know what I'm meant to be doing here. Seriously, if anyone actually, yeah, there's something to bring up. Knuckles' voice actors. Now, what do you guys think of Knuckles' your favorite voice actor for Knuckles in the Sonic series is? Because again, I've run out of content. I need rambling. For me, it's probably gonna have to be the either the original voice actor that was in Sonic Adventure, I can't remember the guy's name, or the current one, and it's primarily because the current one's just got the line delivery, the current voice actor for Knuckles, just bloody amazing. Like, if any of you've ever seen the cartoon of Sonic Boom, oh my god, he makes that cartoon, it's bloody genius. Let me get my reading glasses out. So he pulls out reading glasses, goes to read something. Oh wait, I can't read. It's just, oh my god, that's amazing. Honestly, yes, I may not recommend the game of Sonic Boom, but I'll recommend the cartoon any day, because it's an adventure. It's not like Sonic X, where the cartoon was also pretty damn ugh. I'm not a big fan of Sonic X. I really wasn't. Like, I didn't mind it when it came out, but they could have done so much better with that cartoon, you know, they really dropped the ball when they released it. But I digress. There's Flying Battery Zone Act 1 completed, and it basically acts exactly the same. I think the only difference between the boss fight is he moves slightly quicker, so there's that. Oh, and occasionally he'll hit you with one of his other arms, which he actually didn't do during this fight, so there is a minor difference when fighting as Knuckles on that boss, but honestly, just fight him this exact same way you fought him the first time, and you're not going to lose, you know, you can win just fine. So there's that. Also, since doing this recording, I actually found out during Act 1, I think it's an extra life, I can't remember, but there's actually a hidden extra life in the wall of one of the cabins. Like, when you first go down all the pulley shafts, there's a little shaft with these mice things on the walls, and if you jump at a certain point, you can actually get hold of an extra one-up. It's quite interesting. This is one thing I really want to bring up about this game. 20 years later. Well, okay, a bit less than 20 years, I think. But either way, years later, I'm still finding new stuff. This game, I'm still finding new stuff for it, and that goes to show how well designed a game it is, you know? And it's the same with Sonic 2. I always find new stuff pretty much every single time I go to this game and I play through it. I'm always doing new things. And I just love that, you know? I love the fact that the level design is that varied, it's that fast. Kind of makes me wish that SEGA went back to the 2D style of games, just, you know, in the style of this, because Sonic 4, I enjoyed Sonic 4, you know, I really think that was a underappreciated game, but it has problems. It has its fair share of problems, and that's giving it a light thing. But it was a good game in its own right. The only way it could have really improved it was give it better level design, fix the music, because Jesus Christ, in episode 2, Quack Hill Zone, as I call it, is just ugh. Ugh, I hate that song. But I digress. We got all the Ultra Emeralds. Fucking hell, we're turning to Mega Knuckles. Now we got all of the Super. Yeah, Super. My brain shut off for a sec. I had to think. We got into those Super Emeralds. Now we can be Hyper Knuckles, which, much like Super Knuckles, is essentially a similar thing to Super Sonic or Hyper Sonic. However, the difference is with Hyper Knuckles, there's not really much difference. He's pretty much exactly the same as Super Knuckles. The only difference is really that you have after images following you, so when he transforms, you'll literally see about 3 to 4 different Knuckleses behind him, so there's that. And if you glide for a good second or so, and then you land into a wall, now what will happen is you're going to be able to do a smash move. What will happen is you ground pound the wall. Every enemy in the vicinity, I believe, or is it? It's either every enemy in the area or every enemy attached to the floor or walls. They'll explode. They'll die. So it's kind of like Sonic's Sonic Boom attack. I think that's the name of it, but a lot less effective. You know, I don't like Hyper Knuckles nearly as much as I like Hyper Sonic. Hyper Knuckles just feels like he's there because got the Super Emeralds, gotta use him for something. It's like with Super Tails as well, which kind of bugs me, because For those of you who don't know, Tails, when you get the Chaos Emeralds, all 7 of them, as Tails, you will not be able to transform. Not once, you won't be able to go Super. And the reason for that is they left Tails' transformation for his Hyper form. No, well, the Super Emeralds anyway. And what happens is Tails becomes Super Tails, and yeah, he does become the most broken thing in the entire game. But, I don't know, he's very blah. You know, you have to get those Super Emeralds to get Super as Tails, and it kind of bugs me. I really wish they'd still went with a Super Hyper combo with Sonic and Knuckles has, you know? It's like in Sonic Heroes, and I think I brought this up already, where Sonic Heroes had an opportunity to bring back Super Tails and Super Knuckles, or Hyper Knuckles, perfectly, because, well, the final boss fight all involved Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles absorbing the power of the Chaos Emeralds to go, yeah, now Male Sonic, we're gonna show you the superpower of teamwork. But the problem is, they just give Knuckles and Tails this really lame, glowy shield. It doesn't work as well, you know, it's not that good. But anyway, notice how we're meant to be racing against Egg Robo by here. Well, this is where things are going to get a bit interesting, folks, because I don't know if this was pure laziness on Sega's part, or if for some reason it's a glitch. It's either laziness or glitch. I think it might be laziness because I don't know if the game files contain a sprite of him. But when we go to fight this next Eggman boss fight, you might notice there's Knuckles now. Every single fight we have is against Egg Robo. This upcoming one is against Eggman, not Egg Robo, and I guess you can sort of use it as a fact of you destroyed his airships and now he's pissed at you. I guess? Even though the main antagonist this whole thing is Egg Robo, I don't know. So yeah, we're fighting Eggman. What? Now the only difference between this Eggman boss fight and the normal one, even though I'm not really showing it by here, is that he will constantly shoot out his flame dick of death. So just basically fight in the same way we have before, but you just need to be a bit more cautious about the giant fire pillar coming out of his, well, at the top of his pod. But with that is Flying Battery Zone Act 2 complete. Huzzah! Righto then, it's time to get to Sandopolis. Oh no. If anyone's wondering why I keep saying oh no whenever I'm playing as Knuckles in this game, it's purely because Sonic Adventure. Like in Sonic Adventure 1, you get to fight certain characters at times during boss fights, and Knuckles is one of those character bosses. And every time you hit him, all you hear is oh no. It's like no emotion to it whatsoever, it's genius. And because of how quick you can beat him, all you hear is oh no, oh no, oh no. It's just what? Scott Dreer, I think that's the name of the voice actor, wasn't really the best at conveying emotion. You know, he wasn't the best voice actor for Knuckles in terms of actual acting, but I don't know, I think his voice suited Knuckles pretty well. But I could just be nostalgic for the old adventure era Sonic voice actors, you know, because Ryan Drummond as Sonic is just off the hook, and the Sonic Adventure series has my favourite Shadow voice, which is David Humphrey. Like, I'm not a big fan of the recent Shadow voice. Like Jason Griffith, I liked him as Shadow, but the new Shadow voice that's for the new cast of characters, I'm not a big fan of him. And by new cast of characters, I should say the Sonic Boom cast, because I know for a fact that this video will probably be aged if I'm talking about the characters as if they're brand new. So, but yeah, the Sonic Boom cast Shadow's voice, I'm not a big fan of it. I'm really not a big fan of it. And I think it's purely because the guy who's doing the voice, I forget his name, I think it's the same guy that voiced Sayax in Kingdom Hearts 2. I could be wrong with that, so don't quote me. But I just don't like his voice, and I honestly feel it's because he hasn't had enough practice with the voice, because he doesn't get many roles in games these days. You don't see many Shadow moments in games. The most interactivity the characters had with Shadow since the new voice cast was Sonic Boom, where he has to fight Shadow, and Shadow's like the worst dialogue in the entire game, and which is also simultaneously the best dialogue in the entire game, just because how cheesy and what the hell it is. The only thing laying you down is your lance and your pathetic friends. What the fuck? But I digress. Sandopolis Zone. What can I say about this place that isn't said already? Boring, tedious, and not a fan of the stage. Although, when playing as Knuckles, I have noticed it can be quite a bit easier to get hold of a lot of the special rings that are hidden around the environments. So there's that. Like this one, for example. I think you need to take Knuckles' path normally to get hold of this one, but I could be wrong. I'm actually not sure because I basically tuned out when I was going through about my voice actor rant, and I completely forgot to look at the footage. But yeah, there's that. Honestly though, when you're playing Sandopolis Zone as Knuckles, what you'll notice is basically you've got loads of doors in the environment you can go through. Now these doors are Knuckles exclusive, and I think I pointed them out during the Sonic run. And every time you go through one of these doorways, that basically indicates a Knuckles exclusive pathway, and if you're at debug mode, you can MacGyver your way into those pathways as Sonic. Or if you use Hypersonic, which is something new I don't think I brought up, Hypersonic has this interesting ability, like the Sonic Boom ability he has, you've seen me use it all the time in the Sonic playthrough. It has the ability to break the game, like certain doorways that block like Knuckles' path and what have you. You can go through them just by using Hypersonic's dash, you know, you can literally break the game by skipping through walls and going through areas you're not meant to as Hyper, which is interesting, you know. Okay, big bag of bolts. Okay, you big bag of rocks. Over here. I'm gonna show you exactly why I'm Knuckles the Echidna, son. I'm gonna stand in this corner by you, and I'm gonna show you the smartiness. I'm gonna show you the Echidna smarts that have been passed down in this family for generations. Come on, guy. Come on, just jump over me. This is gonna be a bit more tedious. Now, if you want, you can simply lure him to jump into the sand pit himself. But I always like doing the last hit on him, you know, because why not? This boss fight's exactly the same as Knuckles. It's no different whatsoever. Maybe he moves a bit faster, but I haven't noticed it if he does, so yay, Knuckles got through Act 1. Thank you, Christ. I'm running out of filler commentary. I'm really just going to struggle with this now, folks. I'm not going to lie. Kind of glad the next part's the end. Oh boy, am I glad the next part's the end one. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm loving this LP. It's just there's nothing worse than getting into an LP while you know, with nothing to say. You know, when you've explained everything about the game and there's nothing to talk about. Although I say that, but there is actually something new to talk about right now. Whenever you get to Sandopolis Zone as Knuckles, what you'll notice is, before you get to the capsule that Sonic broke, all the ghosts are out. They are already out, and they are already chasing you. Which is basically what I like to call proof that this takes place after Sonic's story. I am not letting that go. Sega, you done goofed when you said that Sonic 4 takes place, you know, Knuckles' story takes place during Sonic's story. These do not take place at the same time, fools. You can tell that. And plus it wouldn't make sense, because at the very end of Knuckles' story, you see Sonic. I mean, they're not fighting, they're all like, hey Knuckles, you okay? And Knuckles are like, oh no. So, I just don't know. Anyway, same thing explained as I was during the original LP. Just jump at the right time and eat sand sloops, and you'll be able to get through just fine. Otherwise, it's an endless fall. Although one thing I do like about the Act 2 of Sandopolis as Knuckles is primarily Knuckles has his own sequence, like an entire half of the level is different for Knuckles, you know, which I'm glad at. I'm so glad at, especially right now. Like, Act 1 is pretty much exactly the same, and Flying Battery Zone, I've already complained, is exactly the same as Sonic's version of the game, which I honestly do wish they added a bit more multiple paths for Knuckles, and I'm surprised that they didn't add multiple paths specifically for Tails either. Because, for those of you who don't know, Tails also has his own unique abilities, and I'm not doing a run through as Tails. I can say screw you to that. I won't be able to talk over footage of Tails, for God's sake. It'll be exactly the same as Sonic's. But yeah, I'm surprised they never added routes and stuff, you know, extra areas to go to as Tails. Because Tails has flying abilities. The amount of level design possibilities that could be done by that, if you take advantage of those abilities, is insane. I mean, there's one thing that's interesting, though, I have to say. There is one route that only Tails can go to, and it's actually in the Hidden Palace Zone. When you're playing as Sonic and Tails, or just Tails, you can actually fly up when you reach a certain area. When you do, you get a load of extra lives and extra goodies like rings and what have you. I was blown away when I first found this, and it's literally the only part of Tails' story that's different from Sonic's, and I really wish there was more stuff like that. You know, Sega, you could have. I know I'm talking to you as if you just made this game, but you could have made more secret passages, you know? Don't get me wrong, I'm thankful for the amount of content this game has. This is like the biggest Sonic game going, in terms of 2D at least, but it's just, I would have just liked a reason to play as Tails other than his flying abilities, you know? But I digress. It's kind of something not many people are too fussed about, you know? Like, a lot of people feel that Sonic is... If you're playing as Sonic in these games, it's the worst way to play is the worst way to play these games personally. Well, not personally, what they think. It's primarily because Sonic's the only one that doesn't have some sort of aerial maneuver, you know? Sonic's a bare bones character, and honestly, I enjoy playing as Sonic more than Tails and Knuckles, and that's just because his instant shield move, using that to MacGyver my way through enemies, I love doing that. Like, the Orbinauts, for example, whenever the Orbinauts shoot their balls at me and I'm playing as Sonic, I can simply use the instant shield and I can clip through the ball. The ball will just go past me and I won't get damaged, and it's the main thing. But hey, finally, new pathway! Woo! Woo! New commentary! Yay! Okay, so we go through this pathway and it's pretty much the same old nonsense we've seen before. However, you do need to make use of your gliding abilities to get on through. And you see by here, if you drop all the way down, you will die. There is no alternate path there. I thought there was an alternate path because there's an area that looks just like that and it has an alternate path, but if you climbed up where I fell there, you would have gained access to a secret ring. I don't know why I didn't climb up. I was an idiot. But the little sequence was a bit short and we're back on Sonic's path already. But do not fret, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, because coming up, there's another Knuckles pathway. Oh my god, the originality is oozing out of the stage now. Oh. Like I said, the game could have really benefited by having more Tails sequences, but I digress, I've already spoke about that. Now anyway, we need to climb on up here and break this. This is sort of like a puzzle, because you might notice a switch. That pusher thingy will instantly go back if you push it all the way. So what you need to do is actually grab hold of this block after you cause the sand to rise up in the room, and push the block all the way up to the pushy thingy, and push the pushy thingy with the block, and the block will actually cause the pushy thingy to not go back, allowing you to go through the door before the pushy thingy closes and the door closes, you know? And I like this, you know, puzzle aspects in my 2D platform games. They're rare things indeed, but I like them when they happen, you know? Anyway, this jump by here is... I actually died a good few times trying to get this jump. What you need to do, at least not in this playthrough, mind you, on other playthroughs. I'm used to the game enough now to, you know, to not die to that, but basically what you want to do is get to the wall, and where the rings are, tap the jump button and hold them as quick as physically possible, otherwise good luck. Anyway, now it's time to fight the golem boss without cheesing it. We need to fight this thing legitimately. Now, he's pretty much exactly the same as he was in Sonic's story, the only difference is he does move a little bit faster. So what I recommend is just jumping on his arm, booping him on the head, and sort of gliding into him and just try and hit him as much as you can. And just rinse and repeat and avoid the spikes on his stomach. You can still cheese him pretty easily using Knuckles' glide. So there's that. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, that is Act 2 of Sandopolis Zone completed, which means we can move on to Knuckles' most unique level in the game. In fact, that only Knuckles gets to do it. I shit you not, this is a Knuckles exclusive level for the most part. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, I'll catch you all next time for Knuckles' Lava Reef Zone. Thank you all for watching, hope you all enjoyed. Don't be sheepish, people, I'll catch you all then. Bye!